What's up, everybody? Hello and welcome back to the channel. It has been a little bit for me as I was under the weather over the past few weeks here and I lost my voice, so couldn't make any content. That being said, it is quite the day to come back and to make some new content as Milan plays Manchester United, which is a return to some of the great moments and great memories of the past when AC Milan used to be in these big European nights. It's just in Milan's DNA. This is where we always should be, is playing in Europe, and the hope is that we qualify for Champions League and really get back to where we need to be next. So Milan played Manchester United today. The result was a 1-1 draw. Decently fair result, but Milan really should have edged this one out 2-1 for sure. We played better overall. We had a absolutely garbage fake handball called on Kessié. I have no idea how that was even considered to be overturned, as it definitely did not hit his hand. Not even any real pundits who weren't completely biased said that it was. Every single person knew that this was not a handball. Plus, you had to overturn this, meaning that there had to be a clear and obvious handball, which there definitely wasn't. So it's very, very, very fishy, and I would expect or hope that we get some strange call in the second leg to even this out, because that is a massive goal to chalk off. 2-1 with 2 away goals is a big difference than 1-1. So not very happy about that, but it is what it is. At least we got that last goal there to take an away goal and end in a draw. All right, we'll start at the back here as usual. Gianluigi Donnarumma with a 6 out of 10. He played great for most of the game, but on the goal, he should have backed up. There's no need to come out for it. I think that he came out for it because Tomori lost his man and he didn't look sure about it. He really just should have backed up, because when Diallo was coming turned backwards, there's really only one thing that he can do, right? I mean, he can loft it. He can't get power on it, so he's got to loft it. That's the only possible way that Diallo can beat you. He has to loft it. So back up, be closer to the actual goal line, and you're going to be totally fine. So Donnarumma is definitely to blame there. He's not the primary culprit, but he is partially to blame there. So the reason why he doesn't get a 7 is because of that mistake there. 6. Davide Calabria, who has been consistently excellent just about every single game this season, was a consistent threat. His ball control was remarkable, and it has been over the past several games. He was a consistent threat, delivered what should have been a goal onto Krunić's head. He was absolutely awesome. I would give him a 7.5 to 8. It was too bad that he came off, because he really is a threat. But I'm glad that we're preserving him, because we're going to need him either against Napoli or definitely against Man U in the return leg. So I hope that he is okay, because when we lose him, we definitely lose a lot, as Kalulu just isn't there yet, and Dalot, as I will get to, is just better on the left. Simon Kjaer, what a beastly performance. There was a lot of doubt to say who's going to start, because Romagnoli-Tomori was such a good pairing, and I still think that as far as the chemistry goes, even though Romagnoli hasn't been great this season, he has the best chemistry with both of our center backs. He has the best chemistry with Kjaer, and he has the best chemistry with Tomori. So we were wondering, okay, who's going to actually get the start? Kjaer got the start, and I think that he was the only one who I thought should have been a deadlock, and it should have been between Romagnoli and Tomori for who gets the other start. Kjaer has been our best defender all season, so if he's fit and he's with it, he should start, and I'm so glad that he did. He was such a presence today. He shut everybody down physically. He never made a mistake, didn't put a foot wrong, and he gets the game-winning goal. 8.5, big performance from Kjaer. Next up, Fikayo Tomori. I actually thought that he played pretty dang well today overall. He was strong in his challenges. He was properly aggressive, but he made a couple crucial mistakes. On the first Martial shot, he went out. He was just kind of running out towards the ball randomly, not really for any purpose, and Martial got a nice shot off it as Tomori missed the interception. Then he let Greenwood go by him. He did make an amazing recovery on him, but this is my thing. He shouldn't have to use his speed there. He shouldn't have to use his remarkable speed to make these recovering challenges, because it's not going to work every time. And Greenwood is fast, but he's not a blazing fast player. You take a faster player, Tomori's not catching him up. So I don't like that he loses his man sometimes in those crucial positions, but either way, it was a remarkable catch up. So great job there. But the reason why Tomori doesn't get a fantastic rating today is because he made one crucial mistake and it caused a goal. It is exactly like what we said. What is he good at? He has amazing speed. He's good one-on-one marking. He's good at pressing people and being aggressive. What is he bad at? 2 things. 1, off the ball marking, and 2, aerial marking. And what happened today? He didn't mark Diallo. He lost him aerially. And due to that, it was 100% the cause of the goal. So his weakness was definitely on display tonight. Overall, if that goal didn't happen, I would have given Tomori a 6.5 as I thought he played above average. But because that one mistake actually cost us the goal here, he gets a 5.5 today, unfortunately. On the left, we have Diogo Dalot. I thought he played fantastic today. His ball control was excellent. He was a threat going forward. He was very solid defensively. He played a great game, and it is just like I said, I don't know why people want him to substitute on the right. He's fine as a sub on the right, but he really should be the deputy Theo because he's way better on the left. Yes, he's very ambidextrous, and although he's naturally right-footed, he just plays better on the left. There's a lot of players who that happens with, who for some reason they're just better on their off foot side. He really is better on the left. And I thought he played a great game. I'd give him a 6.5. If he keeps playing like this, we might keep him if the price is right. We will see. Next up, a guy that I have not been very positive on. Didn't really like the transfer, but I understood it because it was a good cheap one. Swale Omete. I've got to give it to this guy today. He stepped up big time. He didn't really make any crucial mistakes. A couple little, misplaced balls here and whatnot, but his passing was overall pretty dang good. He actually used his strength today. He was in position most of the time, so Kessié didn't have to pull triple duty like he normally does. He wasn't as lazy as I'm used to seeing him. I mean, honestly, I thought Mete played a great game today. It was definitely the best game that he's played in a Milan shirt, and his last game was pretty dang good too. So if he keeps doing this, he might give us something to think about with possible redemption as his price is not super high. I still don't think at this point I wouldn't redeem him yet, but if he churns out some more performances like this consistently, we're really going to have to think about possibly redeeming him. So even though I haven't been too positive on him overall, I've got to give it to the guy. 6.5, great game from Mete. Definitely his best so far. Next up, what more can I say about the man? Franck Kessié, he has had one amazing season, and all he needed was time and to be put in the right position. Once we stopped making Kessié attack too much, he started playing better. He still gets forward here and there, but he now knows his role. He's been playing so well. He got a goal today for sure. I don't care what anybody says. The fact that it was chalked off, that's a goal. He scored 100%. He broke up a ton of plays. He did make one crucial mistake, as he was the man who was supposed to mark Maguire. If you look back at the terrible miss by Maguire, he was supposed to mark him, and he did not. So Kessié made a crucial mistake. We weren't punished for it, so he kind of slides away, but the rest of the game that he played was just remarkable. 8.5 from Kessié. Next on the right wing was Salamakers. I thought he played pretty dang well. He really lacks that last quality, right? He works hard. He has good skills, good moves. He delivers some pretty good crosses. He gets into some dangerous positions, but he just doesn't have that last bit of quality to be a constant threat, score goals. He just doesn't have that last little bit that we need. He's going to be a great depth player, and he can start here and there, but he really should not be our main guy going forward. He did play well, so I'll give him a 6.5, but I keep going back to this. Just look at how well Federico Chiesa is playing. Imagine if we had actually spent the cash and bought Chiesa and he was our right winger. Look how good our attack would be. If we had Rebic on the left, Ibrahimovic as striker, and Chiesa on the right, that's pretty dynamite. But I guess we can't cry over spilled milk. Brahim Diaz played the attacking mid-role today as Çalhanoğlu was injured, and actually over the past few weeks he has been outperforming Çalhanoğlu as Çalhanoğlu has looked a little bit lazy and sloppy. Diaz I thought played very well. He pushed forward. He wasn't as selfish as he sometimes can be. He didn't have any great moments, but I thought that he kept the game going very, very well. He linked up play with all of his attackers, and I thought he had a very strong performance, 6.5. Rade Krunic has been a revelation over the past several weeks. I don't know what has gotten into him, but I think it's just not playing him too far back. He really is, that kind of center mid who can do a little bit of everything. The problem is when you play in a double pivot midfield, he has to do too much D-mid duties, and that's just not his position. Now that that's been figured out, Krunic has been awesome. I mean, he's been great depth for us. He has played awesome at that attacking midfield role and at sliding out to the left today. I really can't say much more. I mean, he's just really shown that he actually does have some significant worth, and if he keeps this up, we should not sell him because it's going to be hard to find a replacement. as I don't believe his price is too high. So I think it's just a good person to have. He can start, he can sub, he can play many positions, and if his confidence is up like it has been, there's really no need to sell him and offload him. I don't really see the point. Rafael Leao, he worked a lot harder today, and I am very, very happy with that because he's looked so lazy and just not into it, and that's something I just can't stand. I cannot stand laziness, especially in a kid who's playing for a massive club. It's just not right. But he worked hard. He had energy. He was trying to make some things happen, but nothing was really working. Once again, he's just been in a really rough patch of form, and I think what it comes down to is that he's not a striker. It's just pure and simple. He's not a striker. He'd be ideal in a two-striker system as that kind of center forward next to a strong striker like Ibra. I think that's where he's actually best. But if you can't play him there, then you got to play him out wide. He just really is not a striker. He does not belong there. He doesn't know how to kind of drag people away, drag markers away, or play with his back to goal at all. And that's fine. You know, there's different ways to play it, but he just is not enough of a threat up there. So 5.5 for Leao. He was just a little bit subpar today. I think he could have played a better match, but at least he worked hard, so that is definitely a step in the right direction. Substitutes. Samu Castillejo worked hard, kind of like Salamakers, but not as much product as Salamakers, so 6. Sandro Tonali, tough task coming into a hard game in the midfield, but they kind of played him as a number 10 a little bit, kind of a semi-center mid / attacking mid, a more defensive version of a Diaz to kind of control a little bit more of the midfield. I thought he did pretty well. He was a little bit more defensive. I would have liked to see him kind of attack more, but overall, he held down on the game. He made some nice stops. He looked fast. He looked with it. So he was just a little bit above average, somewhere between a 6 and a 6.5 today. Pierre Kalulu, we really missed out on Calabria when he went off. Kalulu, I've got a lot of faith in this kid. I think he's going to be really, really good, but he just did not have a good game today. All of his crosses were terrible. He just didn't look very with it. He was a little bit slow and sluggish in defense as well. Maybe he just wasn't ready to kind of come on into such a, I guess, big staged match. I mean, any Europa League match where you're playing Man U, I mean, it's pretty big. Maybe he wasn't really ready for it, but not a great performance from him today. He wasn't on for too long, so I can't be too harsh, but he does deserve a 5.5. Coach Pioli, he deserves a lot of credit. He set up the team fantastically. The only debates as far as who would have started was really between Tomori and Romagnoli. Otherwise, and honestly, he probably chose the right pick in Tomori, as Tomori has been on form. So if it was me, I probably would have picked Tomori as well. But judging by how he played today, maybe Romagnoli was the right choice. I'm not sure, but there's no way to see that. I think he set up the team well. He motivated the team fantastically. He had them playing lights out. I mean, we were definitely the better team for about 80% of the match today. So Pioli deserves a lot of credit today. He's been getting it wrong a couple times recently. I have not liked how he's been so rigid, and he has not allowed any room for formation changes or any type of creativity or anything like that. But 8 today. He did great. Good work from Pioli. Best of the match is super, super obvious. It's going to go to 2 people. It's going to be Franck Kessié and Simon Kjaer. They've just been some of the glue of this team, which has been awesome. Worst of the match, I'm going to say none. There's no, terrible performance today. If you want to go with who had the lowest scores today, it was definitely Tomori and Leao, because Tomori was the cause of the one and only goal that Man U scored, and Leao just really didn't have anything coming off. So I guess if you had to pick the worst, those would be the 2 worst, but I can't really give anybody a really bad score because we played overall great as a team unit. So we're going to go over some key points here from the game and just kind of looking forward. Start from the back here. Tomori's negatives were pretty clear today, and we've talked about this if you followed some of my prior videos, what he's good at, what he's bad at. The off-the-ball marking and his aerial marking, he definitely showed his weakness there, but he can improve these. He has a lot of natural skill, and in my opinion, if he improves these at least a little bit to where he is pretty consistent and he's not making crucial mistakes in big games, we should redeem him. So let's see. I know everybody was like, oh my God, redeem him right now. No. Just wait. If he gets better and improves these, we've got a lot of games left, then he's a very easy redemption, and we should definitely keep him. But let's see what happens first. Overall, though, I like where his game is at, and he's got a few things to work on. But as long as our defensive coaches identify this, he identifies this, we're going to be fine. Diogo Dalot, as I mentioned, is definitely better on the left. All of his good performances from us have been on the left. All of his bad performances or subpar performances have been on the right. So if he can keep this up and the price is right, because he's versatile and can play both sides and can actually be our Deputy Teo, I would consider redeeming him. He seems to have really integrated into the team. He seems to love it here. Same with Tamori. He seems to already love it here too, which is pretty cool seeing, the guys that we brought in on loan really have taken to this team. So we'll see what the price comes out to be, but we may redeem him. We'll see. Mete is starting to show his worth. He has been, in my opinion, Mandzukic I thought was going to be better, but he's been injured constantly, so we have no idea what to even expect. So I guess Mandzukic was the worst signing so far in winter, but Mete was the one that had been the worst by far. He has had 2 good games though recently, so let's see if he can build off of this form. If he can continue this and become a consistently good player and a good backup, then we might redeem him going forward. I'm not sure if I would still. I think the price is around 10 or 11, and we can probably get a pretty solid player or use that to kind of help fund the purchase of a world-class player going forward. And if we've already got Pobega coming back, I'm not so sure it's worth it, but at least he's given us something to think about. I guess we'll see what happens, and we'll kind of see how he plays the next few games. No matter what, though, whether it's redemption or not, it's just good to have him playing well because we need it. Our midfield is just very, very shallow, and especially with Benacer out, we've got 3 midfielders. That's it. So, Donnarumma, Kessie, and Calabria, they are the core of this current AC Milan. You can also say that Ibrahimovic and Kjaer are the kind of adult men figures here who actually have kind of brought these kids up by their bootstraps and kind of taught them how to grow up and taught them how to be men, which is kind of cool. But if you look at going forward, our long-term future are these 3 players holding it down. We need some of these players in our attack and in our kind of more, attacking midfield role. And hopefully Tonali can become one of these players eventually because the kid has always had a lot of character throughout his career. He had a ton of character at Brescia, and hopefully once he develops and grows into his own, he'll come very good. Look at Kessie for the first few seasons. He was very subpar. People were considering selling him. He just was not good. Then all of a sudden, bam, this season and a little bit of last season, he's been amazing. And now he's been one of our top performers every single game. So I would give a kid like Tonali some time because he could become a long-term solution for us. Especially now that we're talking about possibly selling Benacer for his release clause of $50 million, which may not be a bad idea. If you can fund the sale, if that can fund the purchase of a top-class striker or a top-class right wing, that's probably more important than keeping Benacer if Tonali has been playing well, which he has been. So we'll see, but those 3 right now, in my opinion, they are the core of this current AC Milan. Those are the ones that we need to be building around. So needless to say, please renew these 3. They need to stay. This is Milan right there. Next, if Rade Krunic keeps up his current form, we should not sell him. He's amazing depth. He has his confidence. He can play almost anywhere on the actual field. He seems to really fight hard and love it here. There is not a single game, no matter how bad he's playing, that he doesn't work his ass off. And that's something to where I used to compare Krunic and Mete. They both would make big mistakes in midfield, but Mete is just super lazy, whereas Krunic at least works super hard. So it's a very obvious choice who you'd take. Well, now they're not playing the same position anymore, so we can kind of end the comparisons. But Krunic on his own, he's been awesome the past few games. If he keeps this up, we should definitely not sell him. I mentioned a little earlier, but right wing quality is definitely needed. We have very good workers, hard workers who fight for the shirt, which I love, but we really need some top class. I mentioned it before. We should have went for Chiesa. He was the guy. I said it earlier in a lot of my kind of what should Milan do in January. That was the guy. Spend the money, go for it. I don't like a lot of his personality. He's definitely a diver, but the guy fights hard and he's top class. So we missed the boat on that, and now we're going to have to see what we need to do going forward. I guess we'll see. But we're also going to need a striker because without Ibra, that spot on our team is just so weak. It's almost like the defenders don't really have to mark our striker when Ibra's not there. So we need a top-class striker coming forward, or at least somebody who is high-class and fights hard and has some strength. Belotti has been a name that's been tossed around. I think that would probably be some of the most ideal candidates for us, as he is also a big Milan fan. So that would be pretty cool to get him over here, as I think that he could definitely take over for Ibra. The goal, the dream, is Haaland, but I feel like he's probably going to stay at Dortmund for one more year before anybody's able to pry him away. You never know, though, if we qualify for Champions League and we got all the momentum going. You never know. Next, Rafael Leao, he worked a lot harder this match, but he's just not a striker. I get it, we have to play him there for right now, but he just doesn't do enough up there, and it's kind of unique. Like, I was wondering why we would have loaned out Colombo so early. Yes, he's very young and needs playing time somewhere else, but he would have got a ton of playing time, because let's be honest, is Colombo playing center forward or striker any worse than Leao playing there? No, because at least Colombo works hard and he actually has proper center forward and striker movements. So, and plus, he might just get a lot of confidence being a youngster, just playing without a care in the world and going for it. So I don't think we should have loaned him so early when we're very fragile in attack, especially we just brought in Mandzukic and he's just constantly injured, so he's just collecting a fat paycheck for absolutely nothing. I get we have to play Leao there, but he's not a striker. I can't fully blame him. The one thing I can blame him for is lack of motivation, energy, and drive, which I saw the opposite today. He actually worked hard, which made me very happy. Last up here, we got the classic English treatment with the non-existent handball on Kessia's goal. This was 100% a goal. It seems like whenever Italian teams go up against English teams, we kind of get an unfair shake, especially if we're playing away. But it's been going on for a long time. It is what it is. That was a completely junk call, and Milan should 100% be walking out of this with a fair 2-1 win with 2 away goals, which would change the tie dramatically. Needless to say, I'm pretty bitter about this, as that was a very egregious call, especially by VAR, which it has to be clear and definitive to overturn it. It was ridiculous. So hopefully we're able to pull this off in the second leg, kind of drive through, and Milan can once again be Manchester United's European bane. Everybody, thank you for watching. Thank you for taking the time, and I'll try to come out with some more content now that my voice is back. And take care, everybody. Tune in for the Napoli match this weekend. It's going to be a big one, super, super important in the title race, and even more important for top 4 because Napoli is a direct competitor. Take care, everyone. Thank you for your time, and as always, Forza Milan.